Welcome to the SVG-TV news for today, Monday, June 14th. I'm Khalil Kato with the details. 9 new COVID-19 cases were recorded between Friday and Saturday, increasing the active cases in the country to 246. 6 of the 9 new cases were reported from 348 samples processed on Friday, resulting in a positivity rate of 1.7%. The other 3 cases were identified from 276 samples processed on Saturday, giving a positivity rate of 1.1%. 1 new recovery was noted over the recording period. 2,156 cases of COVID-19 and 1,898 recoveries have been recorded in St. Vincent and the Grenadines since March 2020. 12 persons with COVID-19 have died. The National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, said persons who persist with incorrect or no mask wearing or that should be unvaccinated and participate in mass gatherings will continue to be at risk for being infected and spreading the COVID-19 virus as is happening now. The public is urged to continue to use masks, sanitize, physically distance, and get vaccinated to reduce the spread of COVID-19 in the country. Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves has expressed frustration with the way in which the public health measures and protocols put in place to stem the spread of the virus here in SVG are being policed amidst complaints of packed places of entertainment, omnibuses, and other mass gatherings. The Prime Minister, who is still in Cuba, expressed his frustration on radio this morning.
Listen, I getting fed up talking to the police about dealing with this matter. I getting fed up. And I hope Superintendent John and the traffic police hearing me. I hope also the commissioner is hearing me. That is an area where we have real danger.
The present COVID-19 protocol stipulate that omnibuses should not carry more than 12 persons on board. Additionally, there has been an ongoing ban on amplified music and restrictions to 20 persons at outdoor gatherings. Despite this, persons have continued to disobey the rules amidst a second wave of COVID-19 affecting the island. Meanwhile, Inspector of Police Parnell Brown told SVG-TV News today that they have been working tirelessly to ensure that persons adhere to the COVID-19 protocols. Inspector Brown said large gatherings, however, continue to be a headache, and as part of measures to clamp down on these gatherings, they will be placing no parking signs outside bars and other places which continue to attract large crowds.
The vehicles are parked in dangerous position, rounding corners and so on, which will make the traffic impossible for 2 vehicles to pass. So we see it fit, and in order to regulate the free flow of traffic in these areas, we had to put these signs on the surface of the road to enable the traffic to flow freely. So we have these signs, they're placed in strategic positions. We have in Calder, that's at the crossroad, at Judges Bar. We have at Rampy's Bar in Prospect, Brighton area. We have in Fountain, that's at the intersection by Darren's Bar. We have at the Bikers Bar downtown. And these signs are being policed, they are being patrolled every day and night to prevent people from parking in these positions, because it poses a challenge to the traveling public. So we patrol them night and day to ensure that the persons are complying with the road signs.
Inspector Brown said the police have been on the roads daily to ensure omnibus operators adhere to the public health rules and regulations in terms of passenger capacity and mask wearing. He said a few may slip through the cracks. However, he is urging everyone to do their part to stem the spread of the virus here.
I must inform you that the drivers of public service transport have been complying with the protocol set out by the Ministry of Health and the Environment. In the initial stage, a lot of persons were given tickets, but now that persons are complying, it is just for us to ensure that they continue to comply. We hardly have people not complying with the protocol established when it comes to public service transport. I want to encourage the traveling public persons, owners and drivers of motor vehicles to continue to adhere to the laws of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Ensure that your motor vehicle that you are driving have good tires.
Advising persons to be more cautious on the roads, especially now that the rainy season has started, Inspector Brown is reminding citizens that the RSVG police force has their interest at heart and will continue to do their part to ensure the safety of everyone.
We are approaching we are in the hurricane season where rain, we don't know when the rain is going to come, but sometimes you might be in your vehicle, you can't lower your glass, you need to have your horn, you need to have proper tires. You need to adhere to the rules that is set out by the laws, comply with all traffic signs and signals, whether given by a police officer in uniform, whether on the surface of the road or erected on a pole. You need to comply.
Seismic activity at La Soufrière is continuing to decline. This according to lead scientist monitoring the volcano, Lloyd Lynch, who gave the update during a radio interview earlier today. Lynch said there has been a steady reduction in the earthquakes being recorded at the volcano.
Seismic activity has pretty much followed the same pattern of decline. So we are seeing less than 10 earthquakes per day, which is less than previous weeks. We're still not down to background level of activity as yet, which could be of the order of maybe 2 earthquakes per week. So it's on the decline.
According to Lynch, there has also been a reduction in gas emissions from the last reading, which saw measurements in the 400 to 500 ton zone.
Some gas measurements were taken on June 10th, and the mean flux is 290 tons per day, and that is less than the flux from the previous measurement on June 3rd, which was 450 tons per day. So yes, we are continuing to see some sort of simmering of the volcanic activity.
While the monitoring team was unable to visit the volcano summit, Lynch said they were able to take high-definition photos of the crater and adjacent areas with the help of the military helicopter from the UK's Royal Fleet Auxiliary. Lynch also noted that the photographic evidence shows that there is no new dome forming inside the crater. Over $2 million is spent monthly to provide meals to persons living in shelters since the explosive eruption of La Soufrière. This comes from Minister of Finance Camilo Gonzalez, who was on WeFM's Issue at Hand program on Sunday. This is the 3rd month since persons, mainly from the red zone, who have been displaced by the volcanic eruption, have been living in different shelters across SVG. On radio yesterday, the Finance Minister outlined the different areas where the monies are being spent.
Caterers to pay for certain food stuff at supermarkets and the like, and to prepare food in the shelters. Additionally, we purchased some prepared boxes of food from an NGO overseas that had, some rice, some sugar, some cooking oil, some cereals, and so on. The value of the boxes was a little bit over $150 worth of supplies per box. We bought 15,000 of those boxes, and we've been distributing those boxes as well. We have also placed the orders for the building materials that will be required for the rehabilitation of homes throughout the country, but obviously primarily in the red and orange zones.
Minister Gonzalez further noted that the government has also put aside some money to buy household equipment and appliances for persons in the red zone who have lost these items.
Other things that we have money to buy include household equipment. We believe, and if you've seen the videos of people opening the doors in their homes in the red zone, you will see that sometimes the ash, if you had fancy blocks on the side of your house is filled with ash, many feet high. You will need stoves or refrigerators and those sorts of things. So there's money in the budget, as was the case in the 2013 floods, when we felt that we had to give appliances back to people who were affected. We figure that there's going to be a similar challenge this year. Luckily, most of those people will already have a mattress. Remember in 2013, we gave people a fridge, a stove, and a mattress. But most people got a mattress while they were in the shelter. They can take that mattress home with them. But the other appliances,
more than one, sir.
some families, multiple people in the family got. And then we'll have money for appliances. We've had to beef up some of our social development supports, and those things will have yet to be spent, but will be spent soon.
Minister Gonzalez said that the food items the government provides to persons in boxes will be changed to food vouchers amounting to about 150 EC dollars.
We had the boxes, as I said, the sort of food support in a box with purchased materials that we gave to people primarily who were staying in homes. So Lansford, if you took me into your home, for example, I came down from the red zone, you may have taken me into your house, but you may not really have the wherewithal to take care of me for 2, 3, 6 months. You took me in out of your generous spirit, but you may not have the wherewithal to really feed an additional 2 families who come into your house. We have been giving these boxes to those individuals. We are now transitioning from boxes, as those boxes dwindle, to cash vouchers, where somebody will get a voucher of at least $150, but it goes up depending on the size of your family. And then you will be able to cash that voucher. You'll be able to use that cash to buy groceries that you need. Because if I give you a box this week and it has cooking oil in it, it doesn't make me sense give you the same box next month and it has another bottle of cooking oil in there and you haven't used the first bottle of cooking oil. You may want to buy something else.
Some farmers across St. Vincent and the Grenadines are the recipients of a donation of 6 water tanks by the Rapid Relief Team, RRT, in collaboration with the Ministry of Agriculture. Present at the handing over ceremony on Friday, held on the premises of the One St. Vincent OSV group, was Chief Agricultural Officer Renato Gums, who said the farmers have been significantly affected by a drought and the eruption of La Soufrière, all while heading into another rainy season, which also requires water storage.
We are going into the rainy season, and many believe that going into the rainy season, we don't need to store water, but sometimes you have a big disruption in the water supply. Farming today, facing up to climate change, requires greater planning, greater efficiency, and greater utilization of resources. And when we get into the dry season, we find most of our production tend to fall off. Therefore, it becomes more important for farmers to get involved in the storage of water. So we are therefore very, very grateful for the Rapid Relief Team for making this contribution to the farming community, and it will certainly go a long way in meeting our goals of continued production throughout the year.
Team leader of the RTT, Kenley Warren, said the donation is part of the group's efforts that should be part of the efforts the group has made on the ground in the aftermath of the eruption. Warren said his team has donated over 16,000 food boxes, 14,000 water bottles, and almost 7,000 meals and boxes of baby essentials to mothers in the shelters. He said this latest donation of water tanks is to assist farmers who have been among the hardest hit by the La Soufrière eruption to get back on their feet.
The Rapid Relief Team is still supporting those in need by donating 6 water tanks through the Ministry of Agriculture to farmers in need. These farmers have been among the most hard hit by this volcanic eruption, with ash killing off their crops and poisoning their livestock. These 6 tanks range in size from the 400 gallon up to the 1,000 gallon and will be distributed at the discretion of the Ministry of Agriculture. I want to say that the Rapid Relief Team is humbled to have this opportunity to provide for the farmers in this time, and we hope that the farmers will find these tanks an asset for themselves and a great relief and a help to get them back on their feet, because the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines want our farmers back in the fields working and providing for our community.
2 recipients of the water tanks, Josiah Rodney and Hyacinth Warren, expressed thanks to the RTT and the Ministry of Agriculture for the donation.
Thank the Rapid Relief Team and the Ministry of Agriculture for donating to me a tank, because for me, every year I've been affected by the drought, and it will be a great help to me for having a tank to keep my crop fertile.
Right now we are under threat. We do not have any chicken to sell any eggs because we will get so hit in the orange zone by the disaster. The drums them went over, the lines them burst up. So right now we down. So now we are going to have to go back to starting. So I'm grateful for this tank so that we can go on.
An elderly man of Georgetown fell to his death today while he was reportedly working on the roof of the factory of the St. Vincent Distillers. The deceased has been identified as Lyda Cork of Chili Village, Georgetown. We'll bring to you more on this story as further information comes to hand. After 11 harrowing days at sea, 3 local fishermen were rescued on Friday by a tugboat traveling from Curaçao to Martinique. The fishermen were brought home on Saturday morning and were taken to the Milton Cater Memorial Hospital for observation. While one of the men remains hospitalized, the other 2 were discharged and spoke with our news team today about their ordeal at sea. Larissa Pugsley-Kidd tells us more.
They thought it would have been just another fishing day on the Odessa, but on their way back to shore, the boat engine failed, forcing the men to put up sail. Captain of the boat, Bernard Dublin, said they were between St. Lucia and St. Vincent and were hoping to get close enough to get signal to make a call, only to realize that no one had a phone on them. Dublin said the following day on Wednesday, June 2nd, another boat saw them but rendered no help.
And they just come up to and just ask you, well, you all break down? Call Coast Guard. Now we in difficulties. Now if we could have called Coast Guard, we would have called Coast Guard.
Dublin said they kept drifting further north.
We was dead flat for 4 days, doing nothing, just sleeping, waking, sleeping, waking. But fish was following me. We didn't have nothing on board, we didn't have water, we didn't have food stuff. But it so happened that God provided fish. Fish was following the boat.
This is the line that I spin. And I throw it outside and I start to spin it fast, and then the dolphin hook on this and put the first food in the boat.
Chop up some wood, yeah, right from the bow here. We chop up some wood and just rest the fish and the wood just so, for roast. When it done roast, we wet it in the sea and we start eat. Caveman style now.
Thanking God for his mercies, Dublin said prayers kept them alive.
I have one was there, he freaked out for about 3 days. Just then the boat lay down, I thought he dead. Because he was just fretting, and then he called me to pray for him. And then I just see like he thing out. I swear he dead, but after about 2 days and a half, I go up in the boat to do something. And I just see, oh, me and watch me. Me feel much real stronger is when the 2 men come up and say, Father, if you bring me back safe to land, I will give my life to you.
Another fisherman, Angus Webb, said he always carries sugar with him on his fishing expeditions. On this occasion, it was very useful.
At the time, my pressure and my sugar turned down on me. So I did have to go in the boat and spend 5 minutes. After I find the other guy, Grand Charge, who was a sailor at me, started to take down motu, nearly 2 pounds of sugar. I all them keep that in my bucket. So that is the last thing we was feeding on, the sugar, that's what I have in my bucket. Just strain some in the mouth and suck it.
The Rose Place man said that on the 11th day at sea, the day they were rescued, he started to hallucinate.
I hear Mr. Webb asking me, Cap, you're losing it, man. I said, what do you mean? But what's been here with the water? So he telling me, no, Cap, you're losing it. So I say, all right. I don't throw in my clothes and I don't throw in my drawers and hat everything, you know. I feel I reach home and not for long. I lose it. Because I make a step and I like for step out the boat. But my foot just wet in the water. So I say, boy, but they holding on still.
The men who said they lost some weight were picked up 190 miles west of St. Vincent by a Martinique tugboat, Debbie, which brought them to the Kingston port on Saturday morning.
I see a boat and the week speeding coming up towards me. That's the same boat will save us. And the man tell me, hour 2, we did speak in Spanish, the guy in Colombia one in place.
They were rushed to the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital for observation, after which 2 of them were given the all-clear to go home. However, the elderly Lennox Phillips remains hospitalized.
Lose a lot of fuel. Lose a lot. You don't take about 8 bag of drips.
On Sunday, the 2 fishermen who are counting their lucky stars went to church to give God thanks. Although they are in no hurry to head back to sea, the men said it will happen soon as fishing is their livelihood. For SVG-TV News, Larissa Pugsley-Kidd.
Meanwhile, family members of the 3 fishermen are elated and excited that their loved ones are safely back home. Natty Dublin told SVG-TV News that it has been a great relief to know that their prayers were answered.
Church, praying, family church and elsewhere. You know, God just keeps saying to me He's alive and well. So I had no choice more than to stand on God's word and believe, you know, who He say He is. But, you know, it was challenging for me because, you know, doubt will arise when you see the amount of days passing and so, but you still have to walk by faith. Even though you're not seeing, you know, be able to see, like, you know, what's going on and so forth, because really and truly nobody really was coming and saying anything to me. And this is my first experience. And, you know, it wasn't nice. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. And, you know, sometimes to put yourself in that position, when you see it happen to other people and you are put in a position, then you say to yourself, oh my God, this is how the person felt. But I just want to thank God, you know, for bringing them home safely.
The children of Angus Webb said that they held a welcoming party for their father after he got home from the hospital.
Knowing that they gone for that long extended period of time, because he went drifting before, but not for that length of time. But I was very relieved and happy that they make it and come back home alive.
Since we get the news that he's safe and alive, well, we're much happy, much better. We even try bashment this Saturday. Yeah. It was really nice. It was nice. Oh, well, it's me, my brother, and my other bigger sister through it off. Yeah, a welcoming home. Yeah. Much but a little bit. And eating appetite, you see more, but eating less now, not much.
But I just want the fishermen them to learn from this experience. You know, they have to take precaution with their life and make sure they have the thing that they need when they go out there for fishing. Understand? Just in case of incident like this, they could, you know, be rescued.
From 3 missing men returning home to reports of 1 man missing, the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force is seeking the assistance of the public in locating Anthony Oliver, a 27-year-old Sion Hill resident who left home on Tuesday, May 11th for an unknown destination and has not yet returned. His last dress code is also unknown. If seen, you're asked to contact the Assistant Commissioner of Police in charge of crimes at 456-1339 or 457-1211 extension 217, or the officer in charge at the CID, CRO or MCU at 456-1810, or any police station or police officer you're comfortable with. Calls, the police say, will be treated as confidential.